Well, guys, we have officially seen the rock bottom of the modern Pokemon card market. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back. You're watching the channel Dr.Applesauce 2. My name's Will. It's another beautiful day here in Texas. I hope you guys know that I love you, God loves you, and that there is an awesome plan for your life. Welcome today as I sit here and I rant at the camera about Pokemon cards for, I don't know, maybe 10, 15 minutes or so, whatever. This is a very interesting topic that I want to talk about, and that's going to be the Pokemon card market, specifically modern Pokemon cards. And it has absolutely hit rock bottom. We've seen the rock bottom for the modern Pokemon card market. I'm going to talk about a couple of things that we've seen, and basically, like, as a collector, how you should move forward and what exactly you should do. So when I say rock bottom, I want to specifically talk about what we saw happening with the first few sets of the Scarlet and Violet era. Now, there's a ton of people that complain and say Scarlet and Violet's awful because the pull rates, because there's no value, yada, 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 yada. Just because something isn't valuable as soon as it releases, just because you can't flip it as soon as it releases, doesn't mean it sucks. Doesn't mean it's a terrible product. It means it's not valuable right away, but likely in 3, 4, 5, 10 years, there will be some value to it. And this is exactly what we saw happen with the first few sets of Scarlet and Violet. And there's a lot of people that are angry about Pokemon putting these sets out and kind of some of the overprinting and overproduction that we saw with Scarlet and Violet. So let's just look at a few, I want to look at a few numbers real quick with Scarlet and Violet, okay? So let's look at a few numbers. So the first set of Scarlet and Violet was Scarlet and Violet base. The bottom of Scarlet and Violet base was about $75 a booster box, which is really, really low. And here we are now, they're about $90. Now this is still way below MSRP, which that's a whole nother issue. That's a whole nother thing that factors into all of this, is the fact that MSRP was jacked up to like $160 a box. But when Scarlet and Violet base was released, you could reliably buy boxes for realistically $120. That's probably the realistic price, $120, $110. So we saw it bottom out around $75 a box. Now it's up to $90 a box. It's only $15, but what is that? Over about a year? That's an increase, okay? The next set, Paldea Evolved, doing pretty well. It bottomed out around 90, and now it's selling for about 110. And Paldea Evolved, honestly, is a really cool set. It has a lot of fun cards in it. You can pull some really interesting stuff, and I think this set was really, really well done. But what we're seeing with these initial Scarlet and Violet sets is higher production, low rates of incredibly expensive chase cards like we all got used to, and lower prices. It bottomed out at about 90. Now it's selling for about 110. What is that? It's an increase over time. An increase over time, which is really, really relevant. Obsidian Flames bottomed out around 90. Now it's selling for about 10. What is that, guys? What do we call it? Oh, that's an increase. That's about a 10% increase over time. And this is the thing that I think everybody is forgetting, is the over time aspect. You get people that complain because you can't get hits on anything, and then you get people that complain because there's too many hits. You get people complaining because nothing's valuable, and you get people complaining because everything's too expensive. We can't have both and eat it. Like, you can't have it all. All value comes later on down the line, and then when things get expensive like Evolving Skies, people say that it shouldn't be expensive because it's a scam and yada 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 yada. So Obsidian Flames has gone up as well. Look at Paradox Rift, relatively newer compared to the other three. Hit rock bottom around 89, now it's at about 100. So what are we seeing? We're not seeing these massive increases, right? But over the release of the Scarlet and Violet era, we have seen increase on all of this stuff that has bottomed out. What is likely going to continue to happen over the next few years? Those sets will likely continue to increase. And this isn't even taking into account Pokemon 151, which was a banger. It was knocked out of the park. The set is wonderful. It's Pokemon 151. I've said this many times before. Pokemon 151 will go down as the best Scarlet and Violet set. It will be the next Evolving Skies, you know, as far as value and rarity is concerned, in my opinion, for English and Japanese. The Japanese Pokemon 151 is a whole nother story and a whole nother can of worms and just a lot of craziness going on. Let's go on a little tangent for a second. It's about Japanese Pokemon 151. So there was the reprints, right? And then more reprints came, and boxes were available for about $65 a box from Japan, meaning stores over here were selling them for about $75, $80. And so all the stores over here bought from the suppliers over there. And then some crazy situation happened where like a bunch of whales from China swooped in and bought everything. And then all of the orders over here got canceled, and then everybody freaked out and panicked. And what happened? Prices went back up to about $100 a box, $105 a box, which is still cheaper than the $200 a box. And I know I'm on a tangent. We're off down the forest trail. This is how my mind works, guys. We're running along this way, and we're going to circle back, and we're going to talk about what we're talking about. But that's what happened with Japanese Pokemon 151 within the past week or so. So boxes are about $105 a box right now, which is a lot better than $200. And so I made a speculation in a comment about the reason that the Japanese Pokemon 151 market is so insane right now is because there is a false perception of scarcity caused by people that are hoarding massive amounts of product. And by massive amounts of product, I'm talking about hundreds of cases, thousands and thousands of boxes. This is causing a false scarcity for the amount of Pokemon 151 that's actually out there, which is causing higher prices, which is causing more people to hoard product, which is causing higher prices, which is causing more people to hoard product, yada, 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 so on and so forth. And I found a random picture on the internet of somebody talking about how they had about 100 cases of Pokemon 151 Japanese that they were using to leverage for their children's college education. And I took that picture and I cropped out all the names and blurred all the names, and it was just an anonymous picture, and I posted that as an example of this is why the Pokemon 151 market is messed up, based on this false scarcity created by hoarding, which creates higher prices, which creates more hoarding, which creates a false scarcity, yada, yada, yada. That's all I said. And I basically said I don't agree with hoarding hundreds and hundreds of cases. There's other ways to invest your money that can make money faster. And so this is how crazy the Pokemon 151 market is. I made that comment, kept everything anonymous, and I'm still going to keep it anonymous here. Kept it all anonymous. And apparently that person owned a store, which I didn't realize. It was like in a Facebook group, and it was a person that posted it. And so they took my screenshot, exposed themselves as being the one to do it, and then I've been getting all these hateful comments about that. And it's just, I find it so weird. Like, that's the craziness of Pokemon 151. That's what Pokemon 151 has done to people on the Japanese side. And when we're talking about Scarlet and Violet, we're talking about Modern, we're talking about English. Pokemon 151 will go down as the best Scarlet and Violet English set to rival Evolving Skies as far as popularity and as far as price point, I promise you. So that's kind of the whole circle. I went off on a little bit of, sometimes I wonder if I have ADD. I don't know. My brother did, my mom did, maybe I do, I'm not sure. But yeah, we went over there, now we're back over here. And so the Scarlet and Violet sets outside of 151 have all performed poorly initially, but are improving over time. And what I'm getting at is we've hit the rock bottom. We've seen rock bottom, okay? We've seen it. And I want to give you some examples, okay, of some of the more hated Sword and Shield sets, all right? Sword and Shield sets that people hated. First among those is Chilling Reign. I hated Chilling Reign. I called it Chilling Pain. It is not a set that I liked, but it is very popular. It's now selling for over $200. Battle Styles was actually a set that I enjoyed. A lot of people hated it, but I like Battle Styles. Now selling for about $130. And then we have Fusion Strike, which is a set that has tons of controversy. All the hits were stolen from Fusion Strike. I don't care what Pokemon come out and says that, like, this person that showed up with a bajillion secret rares and alt arts from Fusion Strike, that didn't affect the packs there, and Pokemon says, of course it didn't affect. What else are they going to say? Are they going to be like, yeah, guys, you know what? Like, we actually screwed up. Yeah, somebody was able to steal, like 500 of every alternate art. And that those just didn't go in the packs like they were supposed to. Are they actually? You think they're going to actually say that? No, they're never going to admit to that. But it does explain why the hits from Fusion Strike were so awful. Fusion Strike now selling for around $250 a box. These are all Sword and Shield sets. You say, why are we talking about the Sword and Shield sets that are selling well? These are all Sword and Shield sets that people hated, that were all under $100 at some point. Every single one of these was under $100 at some point. And what has happened? Time has passed. The sets have not gotten reprinted, and the value has climbed. Now, there is the argument to be made that those sets were printed a little bit less than these current first few Scarlet and Violet sets, and that is a valid point. But what I'm getting at is we've seen that happen with those Sword and Shield sets over time, that people hated, that all were under $90, that have increased in value to substantial amounts. Now we have the Scarlet and Violet stuff that was a little more overprinted, but is slowly increasing in value. We saw the rock bottom $75 boxes, $80 boxes, $90 boxes, which is incredibly cheap. To put it into perspective, to get a box from distribution is about like $85 to $90 to get a booster box from distribution, depending on, you know, who your distribution is and where you're buying and how much you're buying. Around 85 to 90 bucks. That's how much it costs to get a box from distribution. And so when these boxes are selling for $75, $80, $90, you're talking about massive losses, right? So the reason I circle around, bring all that up, is because yes, Scarlet and Violet was overprinted a little bit, but now we're into Temporal Forces, and Temporal Forces did crash. I think it's around $90 a box right now, and the packs are under $3 a box, but Temporal Forces did have a reduced print run. There's no questioning that. Now, there probably will be more reprints of it, but the print run was reduced. We're going into Mask of Chain, or Twilight Masquerade. Twilight Masquerade is the next set, right? Likely to have reduced print runs. What does that mean? What does all of that mean, okay? When we see this reduction of print runs, we see the market continually climbing on pretty much all modern Pokemon card products, and then we have products that are coming with a print run reduction, means that those sets are likely to be more sought after and valuable than the Scarlet and Violet sets before it. Those are probably going to be more coveted sets in the future. I say probably. So put it all together, what does it mean? We look at the hated sets from Sword and Shield that are all really skyrocketing right now. Fusion Strike and Chilling Reign, perfect examples. And we see some of the hated Scarlet and Violet sets that were bottoming out really bad at rock bottom, and now they are improving. And now we're seeing, you know, Scarlet and Violet sets that are coming out with print run reduction. That is a prime opportunity. What you're going to see is you're going to see people that are considered whales in the community buying tons of product and hoarding product, like we're starting to see and already are seeing with Japanese 151 and very likely English 151. This is a perfect opportunity for those people that are wanting to do that. They see the print run reduction, they see everything is improving, time to hoard product is what's going to happen. What does it mean for you as a collector? It means with these sets coming up, these are sets that, I'm not saying that you shouldn't sleep on them, and I'm not saying you should go out and spend a ton of money on them. I'm saying that you should just be aware, and if it's things that you like, to go for them, to get them while they're cheap. If there's cards that you like, to get them while they're cheap. Temporal Forces, I think every card is under 50 bucks. I think there's one or two cards that are over $60. And while that does seem high for such a new set, if those are cards that you want, you should keep your eyes on them. You should potentially figure out how to trade for them, or maybe buy them, or watch how if the prices start to go up or go down, and decide when's the best time for you to buy, because these sets are going to do well over time. Scarlet and Violet is going to do well over time. A lot of people are upset about this, and a lot of people are mad because Scarlet and Violet, it's just like people are just mad. It doesn't matter what happens. It doesn't matter if the print run is reduced, people are mad. It doesn't matter if things are cheap, people are mad. It doesn't matter if things get expensive, people are mad. You just don't be mad. Just look at what is and determine what your collecting goals are, and figure out how you take what is and come up with a plan to satisfy your collecting goals. Maybe that means buying singles. Maybe that means, oh crap, those booster boxes did drop down to $85 a box. Maybe that means you buy a bunch of boxes and open them. Whatever it is, whatever is happening in the Pokemon card market, you can find a plan and take that plan and make it work for your collecting goals. So just be aware of what's going on. Be aware of the reduced print runs. I'm very interested to see what happens with Twilight Masquerade, because I am honestly surprised how badly Temporal Forces did, because it's not a bad set when you think about it. The pull rates are really hard. The cards are really pretty. And what was the last set that had really hard pull rates and really pretty cards? Evolving Skies. Now you can't compare the two because the Pokemon are different. Evolving Skies has lots of evolutions, a lot more beloved Pokemon, but there is some similarity there, right? So it's kind of mind-boggling to me that packs are $275 a pack on TCG Player, but I do expect that to change over time and more rapidly than the first few Scarlet and Violet sets. So I want to know what you guys think. Let me know down in the comments below. It's just fun, ranting, speculation, things to talk about. Let me know what you think down in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up. It's free, really helps. You can subscribe, hit that notification bell. YouTube will, hopefully actually tell you when new videos come out. If you like this video, YouTube says you'll like that video too. So check it out. And like I always say, my friends, find somebody to love and serve today. Be the change you want to see in the world. See you next time.